Okay, so you've probably come across this issue where in Instagram you're only given one link. And that's pretty annoying because if you're like me, you've got multiple links that you want to link to. Here I've got a course page that links to some free courses. I've got a YouTube channel, another courses page, Facebook, Medium, etc. So one link doesn't really cut it, and so you may turn to something like Linktree, which is where these links are held. There's alternatives like Shorby as well, and they give you a page where you can put all your links in one place, and then you can put this one link on your Instagram page and you're good to go. Now, the disadvantage of using something like Linktree and Shorby is that on their free versions they'll have a link to themselves somewhere on the page, which you can't get rid of unless you pay them some money. And the other thing I found is that if you copy this link and then you paste it into something like Twitter, say you want to share that link, then you'll see that this comes from a meta description on the web page, and it'll also link to Linktree, which I don't like at all. What I would really want is a link that shows my stuff. The other problem with using something like Linktree or Shorby is that this is not your own domain. This is their domain with you tagged on the end, and it's be quite nice to have your own domain up here. If I show you what I came up with, I have a page here that looks very similar to the Linktree site, but it doesn't have their link anywhere on the page. This is my own domain, morganpage.tech. I'm actually just using a subdomain here of links, but you can use your own full domain name up here. And of course I've made mine look exactly like Linktree, but once you have this in place you can do whatever you want with it. You can change these buttons, animate them, change the background, have your own background here. So this is a nice starting point, and it's very simple to get up and running with a page like this. You really don't need to use Linktree or Shorby. And you don't really have to be much of a web developer to get this up and running. So I'm going to show you in this video how to go from here to here as quickly and as simply as possible. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a GitHub account. So if you go to github.com, and you're going to want to sign up here and create yourself a GitHub account. I've already got one, so if I sign in with mine, what you'll want to do is once you've signed in with your GitHub account, you're going to want to come to this very top search bar, not this one down here, but this one here, and type in morganpage/links, which is the name of my project, and just hit enter. And then you should see the link here. So if you click on this link, it should bring you to this page here. And you've got a README here. You can read this, gives you a little bit more of a description. But what we actually want to do is we want to fork this project. So if you click on this fork button here, so I'm going to do that. And it should say forking morganpage/links. And now you have this project in your GitHub repository. And basically this is all the HTML and files that you need for this project. Now the next thing you'll want to do is come along to netlify.com. So if you go to netlify.com, and you'll want to sign up here as well, and what it'll actually do, I've already got an account, so it's just logged me straight in. But when you sign up, you can actually sign up with your GitHub account, the one that you've just created, and I recommend that you do that. So if you come to the team overview page, you should see this button here, new site from Git. So if we click on that, you want to click on this GitHub button here. So let's click on that. That will ask you to verify that you want to connect your GitHub account to your Netlify account, and then should bring you to this page here. And you've probably only got the one link, the link that we just created here, this repo here. So if we click on that, all these defaults are fine, and then you just click on deploy site. You should see site deploy in progress, but that should disappear quite quickly. Then you should see a link appear here, and if we click on that link, now you have created your very own web page, but of course it's going to look exactly like this page here. It won't have your details in, but at least the page is deployed, and of course you got to this point incredibly quickly, which is kind of cool. But you're going to want to edit all these details and make it your own. So what we need to do is we need to edit this particular file here, index.html. And as you can see, let's take an example. It says here, I'm Morgan, and if we go along here, that's that bit of text there. Learn JavaScript by coding games there. So these are the bits of text that you need to be able to edit. And of course you've got the links down here, and free course is this bit of text here, and when you click on that button it will actually take you to this web page here. And so you're going to want to go down here and change this and change this, and do that for all your links down here. And if you want to get rid of a link, you would just simply select it and delete it. Now this is not the ideal place to try and do these edits. It'd be quite nice to be able to amend this file in a nice editor and immediately see the changes in a preview, so you can be happy with the result before you save the changes and deploy the site. So there's multiple ways of, I'm just going to click on links to take me back to the main project. There's multiple ways of doing this. We can install Visual Studio Code and then pull this repository down to your local machine. That's one way of doing it. That would take, not a lot of time, but a few minutes to do. But it's actually a pretty simple way of doing it. If we come down here, we've got this develop with Gitpod. And in fact, if I click on this, you can see that this button takes us to this link here. Now this would actually edit my repository, so we don't want to do that. But if you copy this bit here, which is all the way up to the hash, so let's do that and do copy. Let's come back to this page, and then we need to paste that right at the start of our address. So we're going to click on the front here and paste in this https gitpod.io /hash. And you could just type it in, that's fine. And then if we press enter, it may not take you immediately to here. I think because I've already got a Gitpod account, it just immediately brought me to this page. So you might need to sign up with Gitpod to get to this point, but eventually you should see this project open up in an editor. and this is all online. And if we click on index.html and then click on this open preview to the side, you can see that we get a nice preview. And let's just change something. So if I change this to fredblogs.com, do Control S to save, and there you go. We have live editing very easily. And so this is what you want to do. You want to come in here and you just want to edit the text on this left panel, and you'll see the changes immediately appear in this right panel, and make all the changes that you need to make this web page your own. Try not to edit these tags. So you just want to, if you're a bit of a web developer, you understand what these little tags at the beginning and end mean. But if you're not, then just be aware that you really just want to change the text in between these tags. You don't want to mess around with these tags at all. If you want to add another line, then you can just copy, say, this line here, paste it in, save, and you'll see that you'll get another line. And of course you can just select a line, delete it, save, and that works as well. Now once you've changed this bit of information up here, you will then want to change your links. So let's make this a little bit bigger. So you can see here I've got a link to my free courses, but if you want something like I don't know, a direct link to your CV or something, then you can put in a link to your CV here, save, Control S to save, and if you clicked on that, that would take you to mycv.com. Obviously make this the link to your CV, of course. So you can do that with all these down here. As you can see, I've got these icons. Now I'm using something called Font Awesome for these icons. So I've got an example of most of the ones that you're probably going to be interested in. So the key here is this little bit of code here. FA-Pinterest gives you the Pinterest icon. You can go to the Font Awesome site and find what all these are if there's a particular one that you want that's not here. Now of course the other thing you'll probably want to change is you don't want my ugly mug on the top here. You want your own beautiful mug, I'm sure. So I've got this profile.jpg here. So you just simply upload your own profile.jpg, overwrite mine, and you'll see your beautiful features appear at the top of your page here. The other thing you might want to change is the favicon. You may want to upload your own one. And also there's this card.jpg, which is what Twitter will use if, say, you wanted to copy and paste this link into Twitter or Facebook, then it's going to use this image here. And so you probably want to change this to be an image that's more related to you. Now the other thing that I haven't talked about, and is only important of course if you want to share this link to Twitter or Facebook, is the meta tags here. And so these are important to change and put your details in here. And you can always test this. Once you've deployed the site, you can come to, say, the Twitter card validator. There's the address for it here, and you can paste your link in here and it will show. It's actually this one. it'll actually show. As you can see, this is the card.jpg, and as you can see, we've got this title and description here, and this is this here for the title and here for the description. So go ahead and change these. You're going to need to change this address to be your address as well, and the other thing you're going to want to change is this title. So obviously call this whatever you want. So once we've made all the changes that we want to make sure that you do File and Save All, and then you want to click on this button here, and you should see changes and any files that you've changed in this area here. So we want to click on this plus button here. That will stage all our changes, and then we want to type something in here like Fred blogs changes, and then we want to click this tick here, and then we want to click on these three dots and do push. Now you might get a message down here saying grant permission. So if we click grant permissions, and we're going to authorize Gitpod-io, so authorize, then click OK. You should see a tick here so we can write to the repos. Come back here and then a push, and then that should do the trick. You can actually go to your GitHub account and go to your links project and just double check that these changes happened. If we click on HTML, we can see I'm Fred, so those changes are in there now. And if we go back to our website and do a refresh, you should see your changes automatically appear on your web page. So the last thing I want to show you is you can have your own domain name here. So if you come back to netlify.com, if you click, say if you come to this screen here, if you click on your site, and you can actually go to domain settings, and here you can add a custom domain. This is pretty straightforward to do, but if anyone wants a separate video on how to do this, I can go through that as well. Well, I hope that you found it useful, being able to very quickly create your own Linktree substitute. And if you did find it useful, then could you please subscribe, which will encourage me to do more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Oh, and just as an added bonus, if we go into Lighthouse and do an audit on my page, we have some pretty amazing Lighthouse scores here. Obviously these hundreds are unbeatable. Performance 96, that's incredibly high. If we go to my Linktree page, then actually this performance here and the accessibility is surprisingly low. My Linktree replacement actually has a better Lighthouse score than the official Linktree page, so that's a bit crazy. Anyway, nice little added benefit.